your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
What is going on with these states? I mean, who in the world wants to fight to keep men in women's sports? Who would want to fight to have men to be able to have access to women's bathrooms? Why is it always only the men that want to go into the women's spaces, but you don't see women trying to go into men's bathroom, trying to get into men's sports? Why is that? And Minnesota, you guys are definitely being heard. You may not know it, but you are. How are you guys all doing? Welcome to the channel. I am Ty Smith, and you're watching my channel, Model Renaissance Man, in which I'm greatly appreciative of. Make sure that you guys are following me on all the platforms you see above and below. Hit the thumbs up button. That way my content can consistently be recommended to you, and it helps push my content out in the YouTube shadow banning algorithm world. Don't forget that if and when you do subscribe to the channel, to hit the bell notification, which will bring up another little box that will allow you to select all notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I do post. Lastly, my other YouTube channel is called Man, Husband, Father. If you go and subscribe to that channel, you will not see any content on there where you shouldn't, because it's being scrubbed clean to where I can put fresh new content on there that is back and want to be put out there by demand by you, the subscribers, when I sent out a survey. So, okay, again, that YouTube channel is called Man, Husband, Father. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, there was a little bit of a quarrel between Trump and the governor of Maine. And Trump pretty much said to her, "Are you going to comply?" And she said, "We're going to abide by the federal." You know what? I'll just let y'all watch it.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with the state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
You heard that, right? You heard that. He said, "See you in court." Oh, I've been there before. This is going to be easy. I love that. I absolutely love it, right? Why do these people want to keep men in women's sports? So guess what? Somebody took the reins. You know who that person is? Pam Bondi, Attorney General. Pam Bondi. She took the reins, and she's going to be suing, and she's looking to sue them, as you guys can see right here. Bondi warns states to comply with Trump order on transgender athletes. Attorney General Pam Bondi warned officials in Maine, California, and Minnesota Tuesday to comply with President Trump's executive orders to bar transgender athletes from participating in girls and women's sports, promising swift legal action. She said this Department of Justice will hold accountable states and state entities that violate federal law, Bondi wrote Tuesday in his letters addressed to Maine Governor Janet Mills, California Interscholastic Federation, Executive Director Ron Nicetti, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, and Eric Martins, Executive Director of the Minnesota State High School League. Officials in each of these states have said state anti-discrimination laws protecting transgender people prevent them from complying with Trump's order, one of the president has signed targeting trans Americans since his return to office. What do you mean targeting? See, they're being very specific with these words. He's not targeting them. It's just letting you know that men are not supposed to be in women's sports. That's not targeting trans people. You want to know who is, if you just want to use the word targeting, you want to know who is targeting? Men. There is no such thing as a transformer or Decepticon. There is no such thing. There's a man, there's a woman, there's male and female. That's it. Well, to all girls, shut up. There's male and there's female. Plain and simple. Anyway, Trump sparred with Mills at a national, I just showed y'all that already. I'm going to go past that. Both CIF and MSHSL, have said they will follow state laws that allow transgender students to compete in sports consistent with their gender identity. And Ellison, in an opinion issued last week, said Trump's order violates the Minnesota Human Rights Act, which prohibits discrimination based on gender identity. Guys, he already said, you're violating federal law. I am federal law. That woman said we will abide by federal and state law. You're not abiding by federal law. And by the way, you are not supposed to discriminate on someone based off of their gender, not gender identity. You go get a job. And I don't know one place that I oversee. Hospitals, assisted living facilities, nursing homes, where you as a man can go into the women's locker room. Y'all, they're not showing you guys this. Now, if I am a man, I go into one of these hospitals and I want to go into the women's locker room, and I just tell them, well, I identify as a woman, so I'm going into the women's locker room. How do you think that's going to fly? It's not going to fly. You're not supposed to you're not supposed to discriminate based off of race, religion, gender, things like that, age. Okay? You're not supposed to discriminate off those things. Gender identity is something completely crazy, because you want to know why? It's not based in fact. It's not based in nature. It's not natural for a man to say that he's a woman when he's not. Anyway, this says Trump's executive order cannot supersede state law, Ellison wrote, because it lacks the force and effect of law. Executive orders which direct the federal government to enforce laws are not laws in and of themselves. Maine, California, and Minnesota, among other states, are the subjects of investigations launched by Education Department into whether they violated Title IV, the federal civil rights law against sex discrimination. How? Sex discrimination. Define sex. There's only two options. See what I'm saying? There are only two options. You're either male or you're either female. That's it. Therefore, the law is not violated. Now, if you want to start your trans league, go and do that and see how many people show up to those games. Anyway, it says in news release on Tuesday, Bondi said the Justice Department does not tolerate state officials who ignore federal law. We will leverage every legal option necessary to ensure state compliance in federal law and President Trump's executive order protecting women's sports. Bondi wrote in letters that because Title IV is a federal law, it does not matter if state law allows or even requires state athletic association or other similar entities to require girls to compete against boys in sports and athletic events where federal and state law conflict states state entities are required to follow federal law. Bondi's letter, as with other Trump White House writings, do not use word transgender despite speaking about trans individuals directly. If any of the states are found to have violated Title IV, Bondi wrote in letters, the Department of Justice stands ready to take all appropriate action to enforce federal law. I hope that it does not come to this, she wrote. The Department of Justice does not want to have to sue states or state entities or seek termination of their federal funds. We only want states and state entities to comply with the law. And federal law requires giving girls an equal opportunity to participate in sports and athletic events by ensuring that girls need to compete only with other girls, not with boys. The fact that we are even talking about this right now is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, how hard could it be? Now, if they're a girl's sport, and you're upset because they won't allow a trans to compete in girl sports, what's the problem? Because trans is not a girl. Y'all say a trans woman is nothing more but a trans woman. A trans man is that a trans man. Therefore, how come there isn't no trans intramural basketball team? How come there's no trans basketball teams? Start your own trans swim team, your own trans basketball team, your own trans baseball team, your own trans tennis. But no matter what, if you are trans whatsoever, you are still impeding upon girls' sports. Period. No matter what you you are impeding upon girls' sports. And I don't know what else this craziness that's going over in Minnesota, where you guys got the craziest nonsense going on there, where you are trying to have people not call mothers mothers and fathers fathers, but y'all got these crazy names that inseminating person or something like that, or the sperm giver. Y'all, you can't even call your mom mom, your dad dad, your sister sister, your brother brother, because of this dumb stuff y'all got going over in that state. And Minnesota, let me see, who is the governor for Minnesota? Oh wait, Tim Walz. Oh, you mean the guy that was running with Kamala Harris? No wonder that state is jacked up. They're trying to get it to where they want to keep you from being able to exercise your freedom of speech. If your child decides that they are something they are not, and you say no, you're not, they can try to come after you, which is ridiculous. They have people that's called in, and shout out to Dr. Laura. People called in to Dr. Laura and was telling Dr. Laura that they were getting ready to have a foster child. They were getting ready to foster a child, and even some possible adoptions. But guess what happened? Within the foster papers, whatever like that they wanted to give these parents who were going to be fostering parents, they told them they have to teach them the transgender ideology. How do you want to teach the transgender ideology to these people? How? You have to teach this to them. And guess what they did? Well, you know what? We don't need no foster kid then. What the heck is going on with these folks? They want to push that so bad. And I know why, ladies and gentlemen, because ultimately it's all about destroying the most precious, the most peculiar, the most awesome creation that God has ever created. And that's you and me, because we are made in the image of him. And if they can set up any policy, any law, anything through legislation where the ultimate end of it is going to be the destruction of God's most precious creation, or the inhibiting of God's most precious creation, that's you and me, they will do it. LGBTQ, transgender, all that stuff is all about you not being able to procreate, you not being able to make something after your own, you not being able to carry on the very thing that makes us all unique from any creature on this world right now. And that's you being made in the image of God. And we all know that he's not the opposite. We all know that the nemesis, we all know that the enemy of your soul is Satan and his demons. And anything that is pushing you to be in a position to become something that will keep you from actually doing what you were designed to do is going to be of the enemy. Anything that the ultimate end goal is for you to have mental death, spiritual death, physical death, that is not from God, and it is not of God. Plain and simple, folks. So this nonsense that's going over there in Minnesota, with y'all trying to change the lingo, you are impeding on people's freedom of speech, for one. If I have a son, he's my son. I don't care what the freaking heck y'all teaching at these dumb, stupid schools, or these rhetorics that y'all pushing in these programs there. But if it's my son, it's my son. And you're not going to impede on my speech telling me I can't call my son my son. I wouldn't care if my son thought he was a girl. You're my son. Guess what else my sons thought they were when they were little? Pterodactyls and dinosaurs and lions. It's absolutely ridiculous that people are playing and falling into this crazy bull crap. So I hope Minnesota, please don't comply. Maine, please don't comply, so y'all can get rid of all y'all federal funding. Let's see how that goes. I bet you y'all not going to go down. I bet you y'all not going to go down that road. Cut the federal. You know what? I told you I cannot be in these positions that a lot of these people are in. I'll say you got T-minus 5 days. 5 days for you to let me know what y'all gonna do. If y'all don't, on that 5th day, approximately at 12 a.m., cut immediately. Y'all, this is just crazy. This is just crazy. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about this by putting it in the comments below after this video. If you happen to be from Minnesota particularly, and you see this video, reach out to me. Go to the About section of my YouTube channel, and you will see my email, and email me. I will be willing to talk to you guys, do an open panel. Y'all can let y'all voices be heard. We can talk on this. We can speak on it. Again, I'm particularly talking to Minnesota and those of you that might have heard the Dr. Laura show, okay? Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, again, to do what y'all see right here. And if you would like to see the next video that I will be doing in chronological order, it's going to be up there. Things that I do as a variety. Boom. I am Ty Smith, modern Renaissance man, hoping and praying that every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing. Most of all, praying every last one of you guys are in great health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.